All right, time to saw. This is a jeweler saw. If you're a woodworker, it's very similar to a coping saw. But this is what's one of the big differences, is that this is adjustable. So the jeweler saw is adjustable here to raise and lower this to accommodate for different size blades. It's also very springy. And then you've got knobs here to put the blade in and take the blade out. First thing you need to do is decide what size saw blade you need. I'm not going to go into that now. There's a handout attached to the class. So, first thing you've got to do is look at your saw blade. Yes, this tiny, almost invisible thing is a saw blade. The metal I'm using is pretty thin, so I need a thin saw blade. I'll switch to a bigger one for these other ones, but they really don't get much bigger than this, to be honest. You want the teeth to be going down and then turn the teeth toward you. Okay. So you should be staring at the saw blade teeth like you're looking at a shark. I'm going to do this at a couple of different angles to help you make sure you understand. So you loosen the top and bottom knobs. You slide the blade all the way up into the top and you tighten the top one. Slide your blade all the way to the top, tighten the top one, and the bottom of your blade should hit just about here, like somewhere near the top to right here. If it looks like this when you put your blade in which there's all this space right here, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of hard to see all that space. That's not cool. So that's why you can adjust this. Same thing if you put your blade in and it's all the way down here, it's already at the bottom, that's not going to work either because you need to be able to get tension on it. So you want it to be just barely contacting the bottom part of the frame. And then you tighten this up. We tend to stick with just one brand of saw blades if we can, which means they're more or less the same length. So once you get your saw set up, you shouldn't have to adjust it all that much. Okay, so again, you want your saw blade just hitting the top of this bottom part down here, because then we're going to put tension on it. It seems completely counterintuitive to try to stretch this as tight as you can, but believe me, it works. So at the beginning, you might need to stand up, especially if you're a smaller framed person, because you just won't be used to it, and you do have to press pretty hard. So anchor the top up against something and push on it until the blade is all the way down. Slide it in and tighten the knob. And there we have it. And you can do the sound test. Should sound like a banjo, sort of. Bink, bink, bink. I mean, I don't play the banjo. That may not sound like a banjo, but it should be a very high-pitched tink, tink. If it's more of a bong, bong, that's not right. Okay, so let's get y'all another angle on this so you can see it again. All right, so I'm just using this little knob here and just setting it on my table. I get the blade. Once again, you want the points going down, turn it toward you. You slide it all the way to the top. Tighten this down. There we go. And it's right up here next to the top, so I make sure this is open. And I push until the blade goes all the way to the bottom. Again, you might need to stand up to make this happen. I push the blade into the crack and tighten it up. Let it go. Do the sound test. Bink, bink. I'm going to do it one more time and zoom in on this bottom part so you can really tell what's going on. I've already got the top in. You see the blade is right there. So I'm going to push until the blade's all the way at the bottom. See that? Starts here, ends up here. Starts here, ends up here. And if you have trouble getting it in, just open it up a little bit more. You might have to hold it down with one finger while you start tightening to keep it in the slot. And then